Welcome to Pub Wisdom. I have Shannon here from the Michigan Viking Alliance, and she's going to enlighten us on what it is you guys do and all the really cool things that you guys are about.
How much time do we have here?
Go as long as you like.
Because
we can segment it up. I probably try to keep it like 90 minutes at the longest. But,
Okay.
But if we go longer, I can probably cut it into two segments.
Okay, so if I start branching off, just be like, hey, Shan, reel it back in a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
So what is the Michigan Viking Alliance? How did it get started? And what is it you guys are trying to do?
Okay. That's such a loaded question. How we got started is Eric Hennings. He is the founder of Michigan Viking Alliance. There was Vikings of Great Lakes prior, and life happens. People split off, people went over here, people moved over there, and Eric was solo over on this side of the state. He was doing the Michigan Renaissance Festival by himself with one tent and a table and a handful of items. Fast forward to 7 years ago, the Queen, actually, she is Queen Cassandra out there. She's actually a very good friend of mine from the metal scene.
Right, metal.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. It'll come back around full circle. So, Mandy, knowing me, was like, oh man, you got to meet my friend Eric. He's out at the Renaissance Festival. He does reenactment. He dresses up. I was like, yes, I want to meet this guy, Eric. Right off the bat, exactly what I wanted to do. It was like a blank slate, and I had no idea what I needed to fill in the blanks. So participating in the Renaissance Festival with Eric, there was two blacksmith guys, Lori from Tribes, and a couple other people that would just come out and hang out for the day. And me being mom and the person that I am, cooking's my love language. Well, we're out here for the whole entire weekend, all day long. I'm gonna cook for you guys. Okay, but we're in a reenactment village. I have to cook like a Viking. Okay, this is kind of a thing. Let me research some foods. Let me figure this out. And that's snowballed unbelievably. You guys saw just a smidgen of what our cooking demonstration is now. See, here I go with that branching off. So what Michigan Viking Alliance is now, we have Hearth, which is what I started out as. That's the cooking, that's the crafting, that's the building. And we also have Combat, which is self-explanatory. It's the combat. It's live steel. Here's this tree branch growing over here. So within our combat, not just combat, our Hearth side is involved too. We are part of Jomsborg. Have you heard of the Jomsborg Vikings?
They are the specialists, the elites.
Yes.
Okay.
So all of the traditional stories that you hear about the mercenary Vikings, that's the Jomsborg. It's a beautiful history. It's based out of Poland, in Wollin. They have reconstructed the whole entire settlement, the whole trading city right there. But starting from there, it has gone literally worldwide. In the United States, we have the ALESTORM, and Michigan Viking Alliance Ulfgard is a prospect of Jomsborg for the ALESTORM. When I say worldwide, it's not just like Poland, it's not just the Scandinavian areas. We've got Brazil, we've got Mexico, we've got everywhere. All across the world,
awesome.
People are doing Viking battles and reenactment and crafting.
So how do you guys connect? How is that connected? How do you communicate with each other? Do you just have people to go from place to place, or
we do actually. That's kind of the mission statement. Specifically for that, if you're Yamsborg from Texas, we actually just played out this scenario. Ohio said, "Hey, we want Martin from Texas to come up here and we're going to throw a big joint training together. We're going to have Michigan come down. We're going to have Indiana come out and Texas is going to come teach us this." Okay, next month, Boston. The Boston guys are come out to Kentucky and share and teach everything that they learn. And Michigan will go here. And Florida will go over there. And we're all trading the skills and training each other. And I'll probably say this quite a few times. Rising tides raise ships.
Yes.
Yes. And that's kind of our unspoken tagline from the new ALESTORM commander, Ray Rowe. Are you a wrestling fan?
Not really. I was as a kid a little bit, so it's like very old school. Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, kind of
This
very
day?
old school.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
some of those guys. Yeah.
That's another tree branch. Maybe next episode.
Okay. So I know Jeff's pretty excited over there. I think he wants to join the Shield Wall, right, Jeff?
He's in for the shield wall. Okay.
Yeah. He got all dressed up for the occasion, so yeah, he got pretty excited. He's usually wearing a suit and stuff, so there you go, Jeff.
Yeah, I'd like to join the shield wall, please.
How fun. Did I branch off too much?
No.
Did we get there?
So one aspect that you mentioned to me when I ran into you, I should mention I ran into you at the Canterbury Village Renaissance Festival, and that's where I met you and came back I think another weekend and just went up and talked to you and asked you to do this. But one of the things you were talking about that really interested me is you were really into very authentic what was actual in their time, not what we see like in the TV shows and stuff like that.
TV shows, yeah.
What actually did they really do, and what did they really wear? And you're trying to get as close to that as you can through whatever research you're doing.
Yes.
So tell me about how you do that, some of that research, and how you guys are learning this stuff.
So
'Cause it's not common knowledge.
It's really not. The TV show, obviously I'm a huge Lagertha fan. However, it's so far off of the rails of the actual anything whatsoever. There's new information that comes out literally daily. There was just an entire factory in Denmark. They just announced it 2 days ago. There was a factory of building upon building upon building of textiles. So just a whole entire factory of building sails.
This was a discovery,
Yeah.
archaeological dig kind of thing.
And
Wow.
it just came to the surface. I think it was like 2016 that they stumbled across it, and then they had to fight all the paperwork of we can dig here, blah blah blah, assemble all the team. But new research comes up literally every single day. It's kind of a discernment. Like you can use Google search or dare I say AI to start you out on a path. And then you go, okay, well, I'm going to read this research article, but it's by Tom, Dick, Harry Sr. And then that's going to lead me to the next research article is by Dr. So-and-so, so-and-so. Okay, this guy's probably got a little bit better idea and some more facts, so I'm going to take what I read on this, mesh it up a little bit, put my own common sense into it, what I already know, make my own assumption. So there's a term we call experimental archaeology.
Okay.
And it's a big hit within it because literally everything that we have written is 300 years past. the Viking Age. So
Much of it was written by the victor or the Christian side of it too.
yes, very much.
And I've through some of my own personal research, I like some of the more accurate stuff was like from Muslim Ibn Fadlan, who had journeyed with some Bruce Vikings and eventually became the movie in the 13th Warrior. Again, another really cool cinematic draw into the
For sure.
into the mythology and the history of it too. So I do like the things like the movies like that and the TV shows to pull your interest into it. Inspires you to look into it. Oh, that was really cool. And then you hear things about scholars saying it wasn't really like that. It was more like this. And like you're doing through what you're talking about, experimental stuff is, correct me if I'm wrong, you're basically getting hands-on with it. And then trying to go through it and then figuring out what really works and what didn't work.
Yep.
I got it.
So demonstrating the daily life, the daily chores of the Vikings from the Viking Age. So we know they had they had spindle whorls. Okay, so how do we get to that point? Well, we got to shear some sheep. Say that 10 times fast.
Shear sheep.
We got to shear some sheep. You know,
With
so
with the way I bit my tongue earlier, I'm not going to say.
Oh, Jeff, I think we should dare him into it. 10 times fast. Ready, go.
No.
Shear some sheep! Shear some sheep! Smear slum sleep! Blah, blah, blah!
No, just kidding. So we say within Michigan Viking Alliance, we don't claim historical accuracy. I will admit, I do not hand sew all of my clothing. No. I do this way too much. Like, I have a full closet of... That's
Many
why
outfits.
I didn't wear my garb today. I wear my garb all the time. I use a sewing
We're
machine.
pretty laxed here. We can just t-shirts are fine, but yeah.
I mean, we both got cool t-shirts, so
yeah.
at least there's that.
This wasn't quite so accurate with the horns, but I do like the saying though. That's kind
That
of a thing.
which does not kill me should run. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. So we don't claim historical accuracy, but we aim for historical accuracy. So that's again taking the bits and pieces that we do know and figuring out, okay, well that definitely doesn't work. That's not how they would have actually done that. Oh, that totally does work, and this is an even better way that they could have done it, you know? Experimental archaeology.
Very cool. That being said, with what you guys are doing in the groups you have, you get if someone new comes in and they're wearing some basic Renaissance garb that they come in, but they want to be more accurate, like you're saying. How do you guys help them out and point them in the right direction? Or
That's kind of the mission statement, actually. So we have the Facebook group page. There's a bunch of tabs up at the top. There's a files section. All of the files that are in there are from trusted resources. So there's a bunch of articles on textiles, and there's patterns on how to make tunics. There's patterns how to make shoes. A couple of our people literally just made shoes the other day. So we're just, as we're rabbit holing and digging up as much information as we possibly can, like, we want to combat, pun on words right there, combat the TV show. Yes, the TV show was awesome, but the actual stuff is really, really cool too. And when you put that effort into making it yourself, it's all that much more awesome.
that's one thing I never understood about Hollywood, especially when it comes to something like that. The source material is so good. Why vary so much from it? Why take those creative liberties? I don't like that. Like when you go back and you learn what the real deal is. Same thing with Greek mythology. It's like they always go such an off direction. Like, no, stick to the source material.
Yeah.
The Viking, the sagas and what's in the Havamal and stuff like that. Stick to it. Read it. Know it.
Yeah.
Create something that's really close to it as possible and give us a good representation to it. It will show well.
It's not that hard to do, you know.
No.
There's so many good stories. and like filling in those blanks, you can come up with some really cool dramatization. That's we have Thor wearing a wedding dress, and there's some really outlandish stories that you can totally make very dramatic to fill a movie,
And just staying accurate to
yes,
the stories.
but you're still staying in the realm.
Some of those stories I've told to my daughters growing up.
Awesome.
Like for bedtime stories, and
Yeah.
I really like that kind of stuff. It's really cool. I think there's a lot of really cool lessons. And for me personally, it's like, well, I was raised Catholic, and like I say, like George Carlin says, until I reached the age of reason, and I kind of worked my way out of it. But then that kind of sent me into this exploratory phase of just looking into these old mythologies and getting into philosophies and stuff like that, and learning so much more. It's like everything you need to know comes from one book. In fact, that book is a hodgepodge of other books, and I don't trust it. It's like, when you learn about the history of the book, where it came from, it's like you realize people made that, right? And they're trying to control a population that was fading and falling apart. But anyway, it's like different things resonated with me. Different things with Greek Stoicism, and different things from Norse mythology and the lore from the Havamal, and I think this is really like resonance is probably the best term. It just resonates with me more so than anything that I learned growing up. Stuff that was just jammed down your throat, and I've grabbed pieces of it and kind of made me who I am off a lot of that. Like I was showing you the legs of the table, or the pillars of Stoicism, and it's labeled on there. And did the same thing with the bow staff, and wrote it in runes. I don't know if it's correct or not, but according to the website. And I could always sand it off if it's wrong, but so I didn't burn them in. But I think just going through that exercise and learning that kind of stuff does change you quite a bit. So how does this? How did you get into it, and how did this change and develop with you?
Okay, we're busting open that can of worms.
Sure.
Okay,
If you're not comfortable, we can move on to another subject.
I love being an open book, and I love sharing my story. It's not for the faint of heart. I should probably walk around with like a big disclaimer that, I'm an asshole. Take what I say with a grain of salt, unless you like what I say, and then you can stay and I'll talk more. I was raised with no religion whatsoever. Okay. I was completely free to explore and basically do whatever I wanted. But I remember 10 years old. I mean, I can recall my whole entire life being aware of energies and spirits and things that were much more than what I was, much more than I ever knew could be out there. I knew there was that. Asked for a Ouija board for my 10th birthday. What little girl
like
does that? That's
no, my
me.
girls sound like that.
Yeah.
Freaking their mom out.
So just kind of, as I got older and developed my reading skills, then, my levels of literature just kept evolving. I think I started out in the natural realm with the Wicca kind of stuff, the elementals and such. And then in high school reading the Iliad, and I thought that was a beautiful culture, a beautiful history, and just the mind-blowing of the inspiration of the gods, and how moral, well
Different times.
Yeah.
Morals were a little bit different back then, of course.
Looser morals, different morals.
They didn't have zip codes, but they knew a distance.
Yeah. So just continuing on and reading, and somehow, somewhere along the line, I kind of dabbled into some Norse stuff. I couldn't tell you what it was right off the bat. And then I was 19 and I dated this guy who I'm actually still friends with to this day. He was the one that just, he was an Odinist, blah, blah, blah. He was totally deep into it. And just word vomited all these beautiful stories on me, and it resonated very, very much. So from the age of 19, it like blinded me to everything else. All of my spirituality and all of my stories prior were just leading up to, this is where I belong. Like, the Greek stories are super awesome, the Egyptian stories are super cool, but that's not me. And then coming into the Norse stuff, here's home. This is where I come from. This is where I belong. This is where I can continue all of my lineage. This is my lineage that I come from. This is where my lineage is gonna go.
Lineage, that's another thing too. It used to be very important to like my parents and grandparents' generation about who you were, where you came from, what your family was like, last names, and they brought with them from last names your origin, like, oh, that person's German or that person's Irish, or so I have German and Irish heritage, and I think that you as well. So that was my next question for you. So what are your heritage as well? Oh, I also have a little French, which I kind of hate.
I did.
I learned that one very late in life.
Yeah.
I have not done a DNA test or anything, but it's like French. Oh.
Yeah, there's a little bit of French. There was actually there was more. What was it? Eastern Gypsy.
Okay.
I shouldn't say that. That's probably like a slur these days too. But the Lithuanian, the Czechoslovakian.
They definitely were a culture for quite some time, the Gypsies. I don't know much about them myself. But.
Yeah, there was like 14.8% was Gypsy.
So you've done the DNA test.
Yes.
You know your breakdown.
Yes.
Okay. So what's the majorities for you?
100% European.
Okay.
But specifically, my name is Shannon Heather. My great grandma lived near the Shannon River in a field of heather. I became Shannon Heather. My mom wanted to go for a Heather Rose, which my wild Irish rose. That's where all that came from. But I'm glad it came to Shannon. It was weird growing up. It's not a very common name. It's not a cool like Jessica or Samantha. It was Shannon, and literally I knew more boys that were named Shannon than actual girls.
It's a very Irish thing to call your boy Shannon, though.
Very, yes. And Kelly.
Yes, that's another one, yes.
Yep, I know a couple of boy Kellys.
Well, my last name is Kiley, which is actually my mother's last name. I changed my last name when I was 18 to my mother's maiden name. And but Kiley has become such a popular girl's name, first name now.
Yeah.
Like there's so many Kileys out, and they spell it wrong too. So kind of the opposite experience you have there. But the Kileys out there, and I've experienced it. My grandfather on my mom's side had 3 girls, 1 boy, and that one boy had 2 girls. No, I'm sorry. He had 3 girls and 1 boy, and then his son had 2 girls. So it's like the Kiley name kept getting cut off. And so my brothers and I changed our last name to Kiley. My oldest brother had a girl. My middle brother had 2 girls. I have 2 girls. So given the way the last names work, it's the Kiley name just keeps getting cut off.
All right. Well, you got to tell your ladies, like, you got to come with your disclaimer that future husband, he's got to take your name. We got to keep going on. You know, it's a modern thing, right?
As strong as my girls are, I think that's a possibility. They might.
There you go. But yeah, the lineage, it's sprouted and it's continuously growing. But I also need to say that, like, within the realm of reenactment, it's the farthest thing from, like, well, you have to be your lineage has to.
That's
No,
good.
that's definitely not. Just right off the rip, the Silk Road, and even prior to the Viking Age, which technically 793 to 1066, whatever, it goes well into the Bronze Age. Like, there's full-on Viking ships. The atypical huge Viking ship dated all the way to the early Bronze Age. So people have been scooting about, collecting people, trading here, going there, all over the place since early Bronze Age.
I could definitely agree with that. There's a lot of history that seems to be lost. Here's my tongue. I saw a captain in the UP, and he said they were talking about the copper mines and stuff like that. And he said, I had read an article like, I thought someone that's found like Viking tools in the copper mines and stuff like that. And he goes even older than that. He goes, there was copper from the Upper Peninsula found in ancient Egypt, I believe, or the Mediterranean somewhere. And I was kind of blown away to hear that. And it was, a couple thousand years ago. I'm like, whoa, that's really kind of predating a lot of things here. It's like,
Man.
But they can accurately date and look at the metals and say, yeah, that was from this region of the world. Like how to get there so long ago. So,
for sure.
So people have been visiting this area for longer than we know, and then a lot of that is just like lost knowledge. But even the Vikings that got here were following old maps too.
Jeff's got to pull a little pirate move here.
Uh-oh. Come on, Jeff.
No, I think he swallowed it. He's gonna choke and die.
Well, he's dead once, so
Did again.
we'll resurrect him again. Actually, take a quick break. I can insert a commercial, and we'll come right back. Actually, Jeff, take us to a commercial break, if I can speak.
Alrighty then, let's take a break for our AI sponsors. You've won an all-expenses-paid trip to the Gilligan Islands, and you'll be flown there by the Amelia Earhart Airlines. Pack your bags and get ready for the adventure of a lifetime. Stream Beans, the musical fruit that lights your toot. Whoa, that packed a punch. Time to bean your party into a musical. Again.
Oh my gosh, the symphony!
Call now. Limited time.
And now back to pub wisdom.
All right, we're back. Just like that. So, gosh, I even forgot what you were saying. You were talking about, we were talking about like ancient lost knowledge and early Vikings that came to the U.S. and things like that, and you were onto something, and I probably distracted you off of it.
That'll happen.
Okay.
I mean, we were talking about lineage stuff. Travel. We started booking off into the travel, the Silk Road, everywhere that the Vikings went. I'm going to go completely off the rails. It's very, very much related, but very much off topic. And an excellent book for I'm eyeballing her over there.
Jami.
It's called when the women were drummers. When the women were drummers. So we kind of touched a little bit on the copper from Egypt, or found over in Egypt. So this book talks about not necessarily, I mean, they do talk about idols and such, but it talks about artifacts and timeline. Are you ready for this? 40,000 years ago.
Okay.
So people have been spiritual, and there's archaeological evidence that people have been spiritual for 40,000 years.
Yes, I
Like
can
the
agree with
Viking
that.
Age is chump change. We got way far back.
There's a book I came across recently that kind of on a weird coincidence, I came across this book that was called The Immortality Key. And the guy's last name's hard to say. It's actually easy to say, but it looks messed up when you read it. He did this. He wrote this during the COVID lockdowns and stuff. He was actually able to get into the Vatican, get into the stories. Get scrapings off of it and find out that they were using psychedelics in their wines and their beers and stuff like that. And he did similar research to all these ancient tribes throughout the world.
Yeah.
All the same thing. Getting back to what you're saying about women being drummers, they were also the curators of these elixirs. Like they would brew the beer or wine, which debate rages on which one came first. But they were also adding very accurate levels of psychedelics, whatever was in the region, and they were adding stuff. And they knew the difference between medicinal, psychedelic, and lethal levels. And he hits all these different sources. He pulls all this stuff together. It made a lot of sense as soon as I started hearing about that. And he was talking about a very long timeline, very far back, like you're saying. So coincidental, but also sounds like it aligns very well with it. What you heard.
I'm curious. Send me a link on that book.
Sure. Yeah, I have an audio book on it, but yeah, it's a really, really interesting book.
Yeah.
He's been on Joe Rogan podcast too, talking about.
Excellent.
So it's yeah, maybe I'll even try to put some links in this as well, so we all have that.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, I did kind of cut you off a little bit there, but you were talking about the women are drummers and.
Yeah, just talking about timelines and lineages and traveling. Basically that's it in a nutshell. The timeline and the travel. Just because they say the Viking Age is 793 to 1066, that's only because the written history was then and there.
From those who wrote it down.
Yes, 300 years after technically the Viking Age. But the culture and the history and the tools and the knowledge, it goes so much farther back than 793. So much farther back. And the distances and the trading, it goes so much farther out than, like, it's almost kind of embarrassing to say, you know, quotation fingers like the Viking Age and Scandinavian areas. Well, yeah, that's what they're called. But if you want to talk about like the Viking areas, you better go far and wide. Like those ships were booking it for a long way.
Yeah, they traveled pretty great distances. Yeah. Like you're talking about the Silk Road, so it's all like East Asia, and then all the way through the Mediterranean and back, and some even thought maybe down in southern Africa too. They were all the way around. And there were some stories like I was hearing. I don't know how true they are, but in the Americas too.
Yeah.
Not just in Newfoundland, all the way up and down the Mississippi, up through Michigan, in the Great Lakes and stuff like that. And there's some people that some of it was probably disproven, but others were thinking this is more realistic. But even in Minnesota, which hence the football team, Minnesota Vikings, right? So, and honestly, having been to like Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Idaho, there's a lot of really tall, blonde people in there. I don't know. Maybe it's just heritage and stuff that people came through, and they gravitated towards certain areas. But I felt short there, and I'm 5'10". I'm like,
that's a misnomer as well.
True.
The average man was 5'9", but I mean,
yes.
The farther you go back from your diet to, you know, just everything in general, where humans evolve accordingly, we adapt to our environment. The blonde hair and blue eyes, yes, definitely. And I think that's kind of like your origin of, like, we come from the earth, right? So you come from where the ice and the light, so you have the blue from the ocean, the blue from the sky, and everything else is very bright and light and white all over the place. So you've got fair hair and light blue eyes.
Genetic adaptations that reflect the human being adapting to their surroundings. So the lighter skin absorbs more sun, creates more vitamin D. You need that in a area where you get less sunlight.
Less sun.
And when areas around the equator, darker skin is more prominent because it blocks out the sun, and they can survive a lot longer, not get burned to a crisp like the rest of us. But yeah, it's like the vitamin D production is not as needed with them. Coincidentally, they tend to suffer in the opposite locations. Like if very dark-skinned people move way up north, they tend to have vitamin D deficiencies. So those are like genetic markers that show in our nutrition, and it's another subject that I like to get into is nutrition and how it changes their DNA and stuff like that.
For sure.
So yeah, local foods will change your DNA, and those that will adapt will survive. Those that can't handle it will probably either perish or go back. So yeah, and then evolution just takes its course from there, and you get slightly different looking people everywhere.
I think that's just a solidification to me that we literally do come from the earth. That's why you have different trees, different birds, different plants, different animals. That's because we stardust originally, and then mixed in with all of the earth that we have here.
I think that rings true. Like I was showing you my T-Rex skull, the very first thing for my 3D printer. Thank you for Father's Day gifts. But I wanted to be a paleontologist as a kid, and I always wondered about that stuff in school. Why do animals look certain ways in certain areas? And it's like, why is North America kind of devoid of like the really beautiful, colorful animals? And all the animals kind of just blend into the environment. Well, that comes from the foods they eat and from the minerals in the soil. And then some animals eat the other animals, whatever. But that all makes big changes where if you're in like a tropical volcanic area, the animals are really brightly colored, but those minerals are fresh out of the core of the earth.
Yes. Yep.
And the plants have absorbed it, and the animals have eaten that. So it makes a lot of sense. It also rings true to what you're saying. So I often feel like the conspiracy theory guy where he's got stuff everywhere. It's like
I see your tinfoil hat over there.
I need it occasionally.
I feel you. If you need a new one, my sister, she may or may not end up watching this. She is the finest tinfoil hat maker you will ever come across. She is loaded with topics.
Might need a few. I've got a couple friends that are really deep down some rabbit holes and some stuff. So it's worth listening to some of these guys. But actually, one of the podcasts here, it just wouldn't go on YouTube, so I moved it to Rumble, which I need to kind of reestablish myself on Rumble as well, because YouTube said, nope, you can't have that. I'm like, what? Tell me specifically what? But the friend I had, he's very well read, and it's very hard to argue with him because the guy's read everything, and his recall is amazing. Versus where I kind of go off of, I have a systems way of thinking. Yeah. And I try to think things through. It's like, he's very much, this is the written word, this is exactly how it is, that's exactly how it happened. Like, how do you know who wrote that is true? It's, there's some leeway there. So you got to take it against your experience and then see if that works. Kind of like what you're doing with all this. So you're bringing it back around.
Full circle.
Full circle, back around. So you were talking about people that can come in and join, and they don't have to be of this heritage. That to me is very cool, very welcoming for anyone who's interested in it. And I really think that deep down there's a warrior spirit, especially in all the men, that something needs to be activated. For me, I play a lot of hockey. A very, very fast, very aggressive sport. Got to think on the fly. You are literally armoring up in the locker room and then going out and doing battle against another team. And in the end, you're drinking beer and everybody's having fun and it's a good time. But I think that most men, especially, need something like that. You guys seem to provide some of that with the actual battles, and I watched some of the actual fights you guys do. And explain to me some of that. You said at one point you said live edge or live blades or steel blades.
It's live steel. It is blunted, so there's no sharps.
Sharp edge. Okay.
Yeah. But matter of factly, so there's a couple of different styles that we do for demonstration, because we do our shows in the summertime in the heat. We do Western style, which the only thing that's required is the murder mitts right there, and a cup. For obvious reasons, but gloves and a cup is the only thing that's required for Western style. But we have Eastern style, that's higher intensity, it's higher speed. And the majority of us will actually wear hockey gear underneath all of our clothes. Sometimes soccer, sometimes lacrosse. I have lacrosse gloves that I wear. The HEMA masks.
Funny thing about the lacrosse gloves, and I'm going to, small tangent, but I'll come back. I was playing ice hockey in South Carolina, and a guy came and he was playing, he's wearing lacrosse gloves, and they're starting to shred a little bit, and it's these shiny stuff. I'm like, what's that? And he goes, that's titanium.
Yeah.
Like, titanium?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
So the old adage of hockey, slap shot over here, putting on the foil, wrapping your hands up in foil and beating the shit out of somebody. So
That's I should have done that.
oh, sheesh. Yeah, it looks like you got some scars there.
Yeah. Yeah, because I wasn't wearing hockey or lacrosse gloves. Yeah.
So you got some damage, and that's why protective equipment is
Very, very much, yes.
required. It
Yep.
makes sense. I mean, it makes sense. You don't want to, people don't want to lose fingers or limbs or anything like that in a
Yep.
reenactment. But
So we have our target zones. Each weapon has a specific job. It has a specific target zone to where we do want to keep each other safe. You know, same thing as hockey. We do want to sit around and have a beer with all of our friends at the end of the night, not sit in an emergency room getting surgery. So yeah, having all of our gear, and it's an honor system. It's the whole structure, the four pillars. It's conducting yourself to where you can be safe, where your friends can be safe, where you can have a kick-ass fight, beat the bricks off of each other, and know at the end of the day, that was some really good hits. You're getting really good with that swipe underneath, bro. Blah, 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 blah.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Sounds like fun, actually.
It is. It is. You can check all of our Instagrams. We post all of our bruises, 3 days after, 7 days after, 10 days after.
I'll try to set some links to some videos I saw that you
Yeah.
guys were doing this. It's really cool stuff to see.
Thank you.
Trying
Thank you.
to keep my tongue. Cold stuff.
Cold stuff.
So, outside of all that, is there anything else that, outside of the Viking Festival, how has this affected your life and changed your life in any way since you've been doing this kind of stuff? And has it been all consuming, or is it?
Okay.
Have you-
So my son will be 23 and his name is Thor.
Nice. All right.
So yeah, it has entirely consumed every aspect of my life.
Did he get much teasing when the Marvel movies came out? And
Yes.
did he?
Yes. Sorry, Thor. Sorry, son. I love you, but he's a trooper. He's stuck to it, and he knows how badass his name is now.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, that's a great name. It's and names from the sagas. So my second daughter, I was looking for unique names. My oldest is named Ava, which would have been unique, but then everybody started naming their daughters Ava around that time. That's an old German name, but there's a lot of other cultures that have that same name. Mm-hmm. So I dug a little deeper for my second daughter and named her Lorelei, which is, if you know anything about the legend of Lorelei Rock on the is it the Rhine? The Rhine River.
The Rhine River,
in
yeah.
Germany.
Yeah.
It's kind of a siren song. A young maiden had thrown herself off the cliff, died there, and now she calls sailors in, and they crash on a rock, kind of thing. And a very early experience with my daughter at a restaurant, and she was just sitting up in a high chair, and she's just looking over at this table of like four men, like adult men, like, hi.
Oh,
Hi.
she's luring
Hi.
them. Oh
I'm
my
looking at her.
gosh.
They're like laughing and looking at her, and I'm looking at her, and I'm looking at them. They see me, and they just burst into laughter too because they know what kind of a problem I'm going to have. Oh.
Yep.
But that one has as she's gotten older, she has a bit of a darker edge to her, which is actually, she's this thin little meeker little looking girl, but she has a dark edge to her, and it's like, she frightens me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's good. I think it's really good, though.
That is. Yeah, it's.
So you have a son named Thor because of this stuff.
I have
20+
4
years?
children from 27 to 8 and everything in between. I have 2 Gaelic goddess girls, and then Thor and little Freya. So my Irish
Very cool.
and my Nordic right there.
Yeah. Very cool.
Very annoying cat is Scotty. My Cadillac that I drive is Bestla. It's literally consumed like every part of me and my life. My teenager hates it. She despises it so much just because it has completely consumed. I'm a Scorpio, so it's like 1000% or 0 at all.
All in.
Yes. Yes.
Well, very cool. I mean, it sounds like you've really taken it in, and through your research, you've brought forth some really really cool, unique stuff, and something I wouldn't mind checking out more of.
Yeah.
And maybe even joining in. Like one of your guys was showing us at the Canterbury Village, like that stick, and they're just kind of doing the
the stick
test.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I was looking at that, like, yeah. I remember very similar to that. My stepdad was. I was a teenager and was working out a lot, and I was getting strong, and had that teenager testosterone raging in me, and like, yeah, I want to take him on. And I was like, I wanted to arm wrestle him. He's like, come outside. So he did something very similar. You kind of put your feet side by side and kind of grab forearms.
Yeah.
And he just threw me around the yard and just like manhandled me. Kind of showed, he gave me a lesson in physics and man strength.
Yeah.
There's a very big difference between a man's strength and a young teenager kind of
strong. Yeah.
So I learned that very early on. I'm like, okay, he's very strong. Probably shouldn't mess with him just yet. So, but yeah, tests of strength. Bringing young men up into this, there used to be some sort of initiation from boy to man. Are you aware of any Nordic culture initiations for that?
That's actually a really good topic. The lifespans are really different back then because of life circumstances and hardships. For anybody to make it past 50 years old is like, oh my God, that's so old. They must be a god or something. They've lived past 40 years old, 50 years old.
Well, I know some of them kind of frowned upon that. They would rather die in battle kind of thing. But not all of them are like that. I know some of them also. There's kind of a privilege to live to old age and to gain wisdom through old age.
Gain the wisdom, yep.
Hence the pub wisdom. It was in my early 40s. I started this, and I was like, at my early 40s, I feel like I reached the age of wisdom. And I feel like now when I speak, younger men actually kind of listen to me. I'm like, well, I better come up with some smart things to say to these guys. And even challenge them. And even being a Gen Xer, it's like we lived a much harder life growing up. Outdoors, like all the time. We're feral children, and we're still kind of are today. But I see younger men, and they're kind of like not participating in life like I think they should.
They should. Yes.
They're very soft in that sense. There are some that buck the trend, but there are others that are like, well, you need to man up, and that is not a bad thing. But we need to be able to teach that in a manner of what true masculinity is. And I think a lot of that, like the Havawal kind of teaches you how to be that way. So I think some of those teachings are important. It's stuff you just don't get from other cultures, or I'll just say Christianity. You just don't quite get that. Like it's more about turning the other cheek kind of thing, and that never resonated with me. Yeah. You slap me, I'm going to hurt you. Just don't do that. You have some respect. There's a reason. You just don't cross that line. But you gain more knowledge by learning these other things from these other cultures, and it really, we see a lot of that that's missing today. And I think that needs to be taught to a lot of young men today. And there needs to be some sort of initiation from like a teenage boy into a man. And I think for many people in Michigan culture, like taking your boy hunting for the first time and
Right.
the hunt and
Yeah.
killing something and stripping it and getting the meat out of it and stuff like that. That is a pretty good initiation, but not all of us do that. I never got to do it. My dad never hunted, and my stepdad didn't either. So I never really had those types of experiences. But so I felt like as a teenager, I was always out there just romping around, kind of almost looking
Causing
for
a
fights.
ruckus?
Yeah, almost looking for fights. But
Yeah.
but learning to be a man is not utilizing that energy for something positive and not something negative and causing harm to anything. So. Yeah, I kind of think I'm kind of drifting off myself.
If we had a perfect world, but I definitely will say, you made a very good point. If there is any young men that are interested in combat, interested in the Viking history and the Viking culture, come hang out. We can't put any weapons in your hand until you're 18, but we've got such a great group of training officers and line officers. Our dudes in our group, obviously our chicks are badass, but the guys in our group, they're fantastic dads, they're great people, they're great teachers, they're great leaders, every single one of them. So looking for an initiation or...
Not saying it has to be something truly spiritual in that sense or even like a certificate kind of thing, but I mean, I think just the experience. Like
learning a lesson. Yeah.
You'll
learning
learn
life's lesson.
a lot of lessons that way, and you'll get to experience things with other men. Guys that have been there and done that kind of thing.
I think that's very important.
And then you touched on that about women being tough, especially from that era, right? Women had to be very strong. The men were away a lot. Women had to take care of things at home, had to defend it as well. But the other thing I've learned about Nordic culture, as opposed to virtually every other culture in the past, outside of the United States of America, Nordic culture was where women were the most free and had the most rights. Like women could divorce their men, they could own property and stuff like that. In the Middle East and everything else, just that was
Not
not
even
a thing.
close. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's also something to probably make people understand. It's like this was a much freer culture than we realize, and I think a lot of people don't understand that. And
Yeah.
they think that Vikings took slaves, so they immediately think that anything that was not Viking and female was a slave. Or, but I don't. I guess I'm trying to dispel some of the misconceptions of Vikings, and for young men as well, because it wasn't all about raiding and raping, pillaging, plundering like people say.
So much more than that. I'm gonna exactly spin you
Sure.
right on that note. The Red Queen. She was a Viking woman, a free woman, and she worked her way up the scale of society. She got her own boat. She was a slave trader. She was a woman Viking with red hair. She was the Red Queen. She had her own army that would go and steal slaves. So exactly breaking that stereotype right there. She was the boss. She did her own thing. She was a slave trader. She traded men. She traded women. That was just how she made a living. But the care, the raiding, the pillaging, the plundering, no, just the day-to-day life to survive in that environment, in that world, took so much work. There wasn't a lot of time for everybody to go out raiding because you've got your whole settlement that you have to take care of. So, so much more than raiding, plundering, pillaging, raping. Which, the raping, by the way, no. They were clean, they were beautiful, they talked in their runic languages, and they were schmoozers. I don't think there was any raping going on. I think they did, especially in the French, man. Those French girls were like, ooh, la la, look at the Viking. And, off they went.
That was kind of funny because Jamie and I kind of reviewed the whole Viking series and the when Rollo was with the he got married to the French girl.
French chick.
At first,
yeah.
it's like she doesn't like him, but it's like she's gonna like him. She's gonna like him.
Oh, yep. And boy, did she.
Kind of funny, yeah. So we're gonna take another quick break. Jeff's gonna take us to a commercial and then come back.
See you, Jeff.
We're gonna talk about some of the stuff you brought here.
Cool.
Oh yeah, let's watch some fake commercials. Need a clone? I'm your man. Stunt doubles, evil twins, mindless clone armies. Order yours today. I'm not just a mad scientist. I'm also a client. I don't even know which one is the original. Refuel on the run! No more running on empty!
And now back to pub wisdom.
And we're back. All right, Shannon, you brought some show and tell stuff.
I did. Actually, it'll be a surprise. We're going to see what all is in
We got a bag full of goodies.
my Birka bag. So let's start off with the bag itself. This handle style is Birka. So this is the deep dive into the research. There is all kinds of different shapes and styles and lengths of these handles right here, according to if it was found in Hedeby, if it was found in Birka, if it was found in Jotland. The different regions have different styles.
So that's wood. Was there other materials used at all? Or?
No, just the wood.
Okay.
Shaping the wood. Our wolves. Turn it this way. I can't see. Maybe you guys can see. That's my up close vision. Let's see. What all do I have in here?
Is this a stitching you've done, or?
Yes, this is embroidery. So, and a little bit more like cutout embroidery. Not only were the Vikings very clean and elegant, they decorated everything. The tattoos, that's definitely debatable. I'll debate with anybody on my tattoos. Are they Viking tattoos? No. Are they Viking inspired tattoos? Yes.
There's a distinction.
They decorated everything. All of their wood was engraved. All of their tapestries were either painted or embroidered on. Even nifty little pouches.
So is that leather?
Yeah, it is. Leather and linen or wool. Nicole in our group actually made this. It's a thing. It's a specific thing.
Has a specific name to it?
Yeah, it's like
It's slipping your mind.
Yeah,
That's okay.
it's called something from somewhere from the Viking Age. We've got some more tablet weaving. Some random tablet weaving cards. That's the cards that you use to make this type of stuff. And bag handles and belts. Okay, this is a fun piece. We were talking about the gypsies. We better say quotation fingers so people don't get, mad at us.
Talking in a very historical manner, not derogatory.
Yes, exactly. I swear to goodness, I am the least derogatory person in the entire planet. If something asshole comes out of my mouth, it's just because there it is.
It's a matter of fact.
It's
Calling
not
something
that
for
I
what it
mean
is.
anything. So the headpieces, very fashionable, very stylable for the women. Specifically, you see the little duck feet on there?
Oh, wow.
And the face and the horses
Very cool.
and the chains. This is like atypical artwork for the quotation fingers, the Viking Age. Using shells as decoration and, fancy dancy showing signs of status. And I think that might be it for the like really cool stuff in here, other than like hair ties and.
Well, I know a lot of them were buried with like combs and stuff that were like, made of bone or like whale bones and stuff like that.
Yeah, whalebone. So within our group, when you come to the info table, when you come to our group and you see all of the reproduced pieces, back then it would have been whalebone because that's what was most frequently available. Being American reenactor and poor American reenactors, we use a lot of buffalo. So all of the mugs that you see everybody carrying around or brushing their, combing out their beards, it's more than likely either wood or buffalo bone.
Gotcha. Cool.
Okay. What everybody wants to get into.
The other myths.
My murder mitts. Yes, they actually, you can use these if you're cooking around a fire. Not for an extended amount of time because that metal is going to heat up.
Yeah,
but if
you
you need
up,
to,
you're going to be in trouble. Yeah.
Yeah, if you need to grab something super quick, you totally can. Here, put those on, Mr. Hockey Guy. Are you
a little heavier than your hockey mitt, but the hockey mitts are designed to be lightweight. Oh yeah.
Are you a righty or a lefty?
Mainly right-handed.
Okay, there's your right hand.
All right. Ooh.
And you're getting super spoiled on this. This is my shield. This is a 28-inch. It's black for the prospect of Jomsborg, and blue and white on the inside for Ulfgard. This is the smallest, the lightest shield that you can stay within historical accuracy. Now that's not so bad, right?
Not bad at all.
Now fight with it for 4 hours straight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Sorry. Sound check. Now this is actually much lighter than the one I have, but this is a bladeless, so you can work with it or play with it, fight with it, and not kill someone or maim someone.
I've definitely maimed some people with that. That's for sure. No.
Not that you can't cause damage, but you.
Minimal. It's minimal damage.
Very cool.
And that's actually, like I said, that's on the lighter side. All of my gear is on the lighter side. I'm pretty small, pretty tiny.
Very nice holster too.
Thank you.
Very cool. Thank you for bringing this stuff. Thank you for sharing with us.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll set Jami up because I often call her my shield maiden.
Heck yeah.
She too has a very much a warrior spirit in her, which I love.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's definitely, like you were saying, it's something that's so few and far between, and it's a lost art in the world these days, in modern society.
This was bought at the Ren Fair. Ooh, I got pumpkin guts and stuff on it because we were
pumpkin chunkin'.
Yeah, we were cutting pumpkins up after Halloween, so definitely handmade, but not a great one. But it was inexpensive. But
I mean,
it's very heavy. Though.
It's got the shape to it.
Yeah.
Very heavy. Well, yeah.
Fighting with that for a while would definitely wear you down. You'd have to have some serious forearms for that one.
We definitely have some guys that would manhandle this for sure. It's a nice shape actually.
It is sharp blade too, so sorry. Probably not handed it to you properly.
Well, I mean, I do fight with a sword on a regular, they do have to get blunted by some means, so playing with a sharp sword,
Sure.
that's not out of my realm.
So, actually fighting as a female, what do you know was the actual role of the shield maiden in Viking history?
Okay.
Or let's just say Old Norse history.
Let's just, right off the rip, let's just say common flippin' sense, right? So, I'm a chick, and if somebody's coming at me, I'm gonna friggin' fight. That's, if I need to defend myself, if I need to defend my home, my family, my farm, my ship, I'm gonna fight. How did children play back in the Viking Age?
Oh, I'm sure they fought.
Exactly. Yeah. So, that's just...
All the way up until the Gen Xers.
That
I had two older brothers.
That was just, it was the part of life. It was the way of life. That's how you played. If you're a girl and you grew up with three brothers, you're going to learn to scrap. You're going to want to be doing the things that they're doing. So if the boys are playing with swords, you're going to play with swords.
Yeah. Some of the toughest girls I know were always had older brothers. Yeah. Because they were just raised by the brothers.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
The common sense part aside, like all of that just makes so much sense. It's pretty basic right there. But if you want to get into the archaeological side of things, there's BJ 581, and this was a huge debate within the scholar community. It was found like back in the 1970s or something, and all the parts and pieces of the grave were just thrown in a box with a bunch of other stuff. And they tested it, and they said it was a woman, and they're like, oh, well, no, wait a second. There was a bunch of other stuff thrown in there too. So this warrior grave, it got thrown in a box with a bunch of other stuff that it might be the neighbor chicks. This warrior grave is probably not, because it just all got thrown in together. Well, they went back and referred to all of the sketches from the original find, and just did more radiocarbon dating and stuff. BJ 581 was a warrior's grave, and it was a woman's warrior grave. There's that. And there's so many findings with all of our modern technology to where it's irrefutable proof that these items that were a warrior's grave, their horse, 25 arrows, shields, plenty of shields, lots of access, all of these weapons, all of these stations of status where you pay tribute to your tribe leader. Everybody puts in an offering. Whether or not they actually fought, they were a worthy enough person to get these offerings. You know what I mean? Which, given the state of life, like, you have to know how to scrap. If you're going to make any kind of name for yourself, there's only a few limited ways that you can actually build yourself up and make a name for yourself, and kicking ass and slaying fools is probably in that repertoire. So, just staying healthy, it's not even a matter of staying competitive. It's spending time with my friends on the combat field. My husband is a fighter, so how him and I practice together, we bond together doing that. These forms of combat, it's not just for raiding, plundering, and pillaging. It's for bonding and spending time with our tribe. So we have within Michigan Viking Alliance, we have our meetups on Sundays, but we also have a handful of us that do combat on Tuesdays too.
So if someone wanted to join, is there a site they can go to find out where you guys are doing this at, or
we actually,
or is it all kind of just your own social?
It is kind of the own social thing. Like, we do have the website, we do have the Facebook page.
Is it invitation only kind of thing, or?
Yes and no. It's kind of like Ulfgard Village, wherever Ulfgard Village is, we all know it's a safe place. Our kids are out there. We know all of our kids are safe because each one of the Ulfgard members is aware and looks out, and we all trust each other. And it takes a while to build that up. We do have an order in place, you have to attend X amount of open meets, which we do either monthly or every other month. And it's if you're interested in reenactment, you come hang out with us, bring a dish to pass, wear garb if you have it, wear sweatpants, we don't care. Come hang out with us. We want to get to know you. Each and every one of us want to get to know all of these new people. Now, you can't just come to one and be like, okay, well, now I'm MVA because I've been to an open meet and I'm going to come hang out with you guys behind the rope. No. It's a vetting process. We have our high council in place, and before anybody gets added to the chat or invited behind the rope, our high council has to say, Sarah. Everybody raise your hand. What's your experience with Sarah? I hung out with Sarah, blah, 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 blah. He hung out with Sarah, blah, 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 blah. Okay, now we've all voted together. This person is a good fit. Let's give them a whirl.
So it's definitely a tight community.
Yes.
That's very cool.
Yes.
You got to earn your way in. That makes a lot more sense. Plus, it builds a sense of trust when you actually go and do that type of stuff. So don't get some wily e. coyote guy who coming in there and swinging wildly and hurting people.
It's a lot. It's like, you think hockey's expensive, bro? It's a very expensive hobby.
I bet.
And, you know, a lot of the people, I'm not going to say all, but like pretty much everybody that's in reenactment has put blood, sweat, and tears in it. And, you know, for just Tom, Dick, and Harry to come in and think that they're going to do this, this, and this, like, whoa, dude, slow down. You got a long way to go. You know, we want to have meaningful people. If we're investing our time into teaching people, then, you know, it needs to be rewarded. It needs to be time well spent. Kind of like that initiation thing you were talking about.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
No, it makes perfect sense. It's a good way of doing things. I like that sense of community. That's really cool.
Very, very.
You guys are creating something really, really interesting there. I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a tribe.
Yeah.
It really is a tribe. It's a community. If you were to take all of us out in the wild, you would never guess that any one of us were even remotely had anything to do with. Look at me, for example. Literally head to toes covered in tattoos, but you throw me around a bunch of history nerds and we best friends. Here we go.
It's not your only thing. You've got other interests as well, too.
True.
Well, it's very fascinating, and thank you for your time. Thank you for coming here. I really appreciate this. It's been a very fascinating conversation.
Thank you very much for having me.
I'd love to try to get out and try to visit you guys again. And you know what? You guys are going to be at the Michigan Renaissance Festival this year, I take it?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, I would say if anyone wants to check out links and stuff here, or visit you guys at the Michigan Renaissance Festival.
Even before then, we have Mid-Michigan Enchanted Forest.
Oh, okay.
In Vassar.
Okay.
It's beautiful.
Okay.
It's absolutely beautiful. We actually have a permanent village, and we're allowed to have open fire. Yeah,
cool.
So our cooking demo, when we can have open fire, is just outstanding. Free smells. You guys can come out for free smells. I can't feed all of you, but it's a sight to see. It's a beautiful little fair too.
Awesome. And I think the Nordic Fire Festival. Mm-hmm. Was that in like February?
End of February.
We were talking about, I think, going to that, and we just couldn't schedule it. I think we had something else going on. It would have been like a quick jot up and back, and
yeah.
It would have been worth our time. But been long since fascinated with this stuff, and I think it's really cool what you guys are doing, especially trying to get the real essence of what it was, and then showing people what that is. And I think that's a fascinating thing.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Jami does too.
Thank you.
So, thank you. We're gonna wrap it up from here, I think. And as I usually say, tip your servers well. And
Skull.
Skull.
Oh, actually.
Oh, sure.
Fun fact on that. Do you know why we say skull?
skull is a bowl, correct?
It is a bowl.
And they do put beverages in that, and they toast with that, or
Okay.
or
So,
am I wrong? You can educate me.
It was a bowl. There was a king. I don't remember the exact details. It's the blonde memory here. So there was a king, and he was kidnapped, and he was taken hostage. He had his Achilles heel split, and so he was a slave while he was healing up. Well, he finally healed up, and he went back to his village, and he's like, "Okay, you guys, I got to go back and get my revenge." So he goes back and kills his captor's son and takes his head and drinks from the skull of his enemy. So that's why we say skull. When you toast, you're drinking your friends, your comrades. We're not enemies. We are toasting together because you helped me seek revenge. Skull.
Skull. Tip your servers well. Jeff, take us out, and have a good night.
Skull! That's all, folks!
Thank you for watching Pub Wisdom.
Bring us pints of beer. Don't drink, you can live. Bring us pints of beer. We gonna drink now and here. Bring us pints of beer. Don't drink, you can live. Bring us pints of beer. We gonna drink now and here. Bring us pints of beer. Bring us pints of beer.
Cattle die, kinsmen die, and one day too I shall die. One thing that will not die, the reputation that a man leaves behind.